The sun was just beginning to climb over the horizon, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink. Down by the Sea of Galilee, the air was still and cool. Waves whispered against the shore, a gentle rhythmic sound that had been the backdrop to a long and frustrating night for a group of fishermen. Among them was Simon, who we now know as Peter. Imagine him there, his hands rough and calloused from a lifetime of hauling nets. He was tired, his muscles ached, and his stomach was empty. All night long, he and his partners had worked, casting their nets into the dark waters, hoping for a good catch. But again and again, they pulled them up empty. The disappointment hung heavy in the morning air. As they began the tedious task of washing their nets, preparing for another day, a voice cut through the quiet. It was a man, a teacher, standing by the water's edge. This was Jesus of Nazareth. A crowd had started to gather around him, eager to hear what he had to say, pressing in closer and closer. Jesus looked out and saw two boats moored by the shore. He noticed Simon Peter in one of them and made a simple request. "Put out a little from the shore." Despite his weariness, Peter did as he was asked. Jesus got into the boat, and from this floating platform, he began to teach. His voice carried across the water, clear and full of authority. The people on the shore listened intently as his words, like rays of morning sun, brought light and warmth to their hearts. When he had finished speaking, Jesus turned his attention back to Peter. He looked at him, right into his tired eyes, and said, "Now go out where it is deeper and let down your nets for a catch." You can almost feel Peter's hesitation. He was the experienced fisherman here. He knew these waters. He knew the fish weren't biting. He had just spent an entire night proving it. He respectfully replied, "Master, we have worked hard all night and haven't caught anything." It was a statement of fact, of exhaustion, of near total resignation. But then he added something that would change his life forever. "But because you say so, I will let down the nets." What was it about this man that made Peter, a seasoned professional, willing to try one more time against all his better judgment? It was an act of faith, a small seed of trust planted in a moment of doubt. So they rowed the boat back out, away from the shallows and into the deeper water. With a sigh, they let down their nets one last time. And then something incredible happened. The water erupted. The nets, which had been empty all night, were suddenly, violently filled with fish. So many fish that the ropes strained and the nets began to tear under the immense weight. Peter and Andrew shouted to their partners in the other boat, James and John, to come and help. They rushed over, and together they hauled in the miraculous catch. Soon, both boats were so full of fish that they started to sink, the water lapping dangerously over the sides. The sheer abundance was overwhelming, almost frightening. In that moment, standing amidst a mountain of silver, writhing fish, Peter was struck by something far more powerful than the size of the catch. He looked at Jesus, not just as a teacher, but as someone holy, someone divine. The miracle exposed not just the emptiness of his nets, but the emptiness he felt within himself. He fell to his knees right there in the boat, overwhelmed by his own inadequacy in the presence of such power and purity. "Go away from me, Lord," he cried out. "I am a sinful man." It was a raw, honest confession. He felt completely unworthy to even be in the same boat as Jesus. But Jesus didn't turn away. He didn't condemn him. Instead, he looked at Peter with incredible compassion and spoke words of comfort and purpose. "Do not be afraid," he said gently. "From now on, you will fish for people." Imagine the impact of those words. Do not be afraid. It's a phrase that echoes throughout Scripture, spoken to those on the verge of a life-altering encounter with God. And then, the new mission, you will fish for people. Jesus saw beyond Peter the fisherman. He saw Peter the leader, the rock upon which he would build his church. He was offering him a new identity, a new purpose that was infinitely greater than catching fish. And in that instant, everything changed. The Scripture tells us that they brought their boats to shore, and then they left everything. Everything. The biggest catch of their lives, the tools of their trade, their boats, their financial security, their old way of life. They left it all right there on the beach and followed him. James and John did the same. They didn't have a 5-year plan. They didn't fully comprehend that they were following the Son of God. They didn't know the difficult road that lay ahead, the challenges, the persecution, the ultimate sacrifice. But they had witnessed something that day that defied all logic. They had met someone whose words held the power to command the very seas, and whose presence revealed the deepest truths of their own hearts. Something in his eyes, in his voice, in his incredible power and gentle mercy told them that this was a call worth answering, a journey worth taking, no matter the cost. This story is so powerful because it's not just about a miraculous catch of fish. It's about the nature of God's call on our lives. Jesus didn't go to the temple in Jerusalem to recruit the most learned scholars or the most powerful religious leaders. He went to the shores of Galilee, to a group of ordinary working-class men who were tired, discouraged, and probably smelled like fish. He chooses the humble, the weary, the people who feel completely ordinary and unqualified. Why? Because it's in our weakness that his strength is made perfect. It's when we, like Peter, recognize our own emptiness that we can be filled by his purpose. He doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. He sees the potential in a simple fisherman to become a world changer. This story invites us to look at our own lives. Maybe you feel like you've been working hard all night and have nothing to show for it. Maybe you feel tired, discouraged, or defined by your past mistakes. The message of Galilee is that Jesus meets us right there, in our boats, in the middle of our ordinary, messy lives. His call is always an invitation to go out into the deep, to leave our comfort zones, to trust him beyond our own understanding, and to let him do something extraordinary with our lives. It's a call from emptiness to abundance, from fear to faith, from catching fish to catching people. It's a transformation. And just like for Peter, Andrew, James, and John, it's a call that is worth everything. Thank you so much for watching and reflecting on this incredible story with me. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. We'd love to have you as part of our community. God bless.